guys realize how many holidays there are around November?
You guys realize like this reel hit 10,234 plays and there's 123 likes.
Clout.
Yeah, let's go.
You know, flu season tends to be around November to March.
I'm just looking at milkshakes, pizza.
They're bringing all the boys to the yard.
I'm hungry.
Oh, I love Instagram. All right, next episode. Ironic. We're talking social media. I guess it's a wellness downfall.
Yeah, you think it's a downfall?
I didn't realize, but
Can it be something good? I mean, do you guys ever find like? Let me ask you this: do you guys ever go through your social media and like assess it or create awareness of what your content is, whether it's good or bad? And do you have to regularly go back and recheck what is considered good and bad based on where you're at?
Are you talking about your own social media?
Yeah.
like people you follow.
Yeah, like the other day, somebody I followed for a couple of years, they were posting content and I was like, this is trash. I do not resonate with this anymore. Unfollow. And I was like, and then I kind of got on that train and was like, all right, if I'm going to scroll on social media right now today, like, let's clean up the Instagram a little bit. And I think that's like a very powerful thing because it's like that influences that we talk about are like, sometimes I'm like, why am I following this person? Look at this influence that they're bringing into my life. And it's like, is this productive towards me? No. Cut it. Next. And sometimes those are very empowering days too. You're like, not anymore.
It's like that day I went through my Facebook account and just unfriended like literally 2,500 people.
That's a good feeling.
I didn't know them. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a cleansing of energy.
Well, I think so. Because sometimes, do you guys feel this with social media too? Do you ever feel like somebody you follow, you're like throwing a cord or you're becoming attached to them or their lifestyle? Not in like a way of like, I have to obsess over everything they do, but it's like, that's one of my, like they're feeding my energy by stuff or attention that I'm paying them. So how can I like cut that cord? Well, let's unfollow you. If I can't see your content, then I'm not going to be influenced by that energy anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And back to your point of like unfollowing people that are negative influences or what have you. Understand the power of the algorithm. If you like and follow certain types of accounts, they're just going to keep feeding you the same type of accounts. So it can just get worse and worse and worse if you don't keep your like who you're following in check, who you like, what videos you watch. Like it's all being recorded and fed back to you from other accounts. So it's pretty crazy stuff.
Something cool that I found lately too, if you hit the little search bar on Instagram, down in the bottom next to the home, it'll show you what kind of content you've either been talking about or looking at lately. Because it takes the algorithm of what you've been liking, like you said, or viewing, and it throws it all on one page of your interest. So it's always fun to like hit that and see like, what have I been thinking about, talking about, or like partaking in? And sometimes I'm always like, ooh, we gotta like, we gotta cut this out and move forward or figure out how to get out of it.
Well, and then subtly in all of that too, there's subtle sales pitches. And marketing rules statistically. If you're exposed to something, what is it, like 7 times typically?
Yeah, a lot of different numbers on that one, but exactly. Yeah.
I mean, more you see it, more apt you are to purchase it or go after that service or whatever it is. So
Yep, for sure.
feed into that lifestyle.
It's super influential. I mean, I think kind of, or at least I kind of purposely avoided this is a bad influence in the previous episode that you should go watch, but social media could be as big as any when it comes to bad influences.
Yeah, that's what I think. Something with social media too is like instantly being aware of like what that content is you're looking at. And if you're on social media all day, like, you know, flipping it on its back and being like, what kind of content am I going to watch to get me inspired to get the heck off social media could be a, you know, little tool.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I mean, what goes viral that everybody watched? I mean, it's like the most ridiculous things. Like, and I mean, there's occasionally like kind of a good feel like thing that goes viral, but for the most part, it's pretty
crazy.
negative things. I would feel like.
I feel like there's not enough good content that brings value to people's lives that goes viral.
But I mean, that's something in the algorithm and stuff popping up right now is the kind of like the shadowing and whatnot. Like some of this better content or like more real content, more value based, doesn't hit algorithms. And there's a fine line between like where it shifts and how it hits. And like, I mean, that's all, you know, in a sense controlled too. And it's crazy.
Yeah, and it no different than other media outlets as well. If it fits the narrative, it will unfortunately, it seems like too much of the narrative is pushing towards the negative side of the world. And the real thing of it is, the reality, we don't have as much negativity. I don't feel like in a person-to-person level that
100%.
it's portrayed to be.
Yeah, but I feel like too with social media, if you're being fed content, you're being fed whatever they want to send you. But as soon as you take that control and start creating like what channels you're looking for in content or what content you're after, they don't have that power anymore because you're instantly, creating what you want to view or creating your own algorithm in a sense.
And I mean, that's a real thing. Like, I mean, Instagram, for instance, they don't as much care what you're looking at as long as you stay on the app.
Yeah.
So if you're being fed things that you don't show interest in, they're going to stop showing you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll bounce out and get off their app, which they don't want.
Yeah. So they're like, how long can we keep you glued here,
Yeah. Get those ad dollars.
Yeah.
That engagement is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty wild stuff. I mean, specifically, what type of negative influences do you see out there on social media? Like when it comes to wellness, I should say.
When it comes to wellness, one thing I really hate is people who talk about self-care and they're like, I'm working out like 3 times a day or something. And they're over here slamming like 3 energy drinks. And it's like, sometimes it's like that false perception of like, look at how good I am at doing this in life. But then you're like, look at how terrible your habits are in order to do that really good thing in life. And that's kind of the content I've been kind of, pushing away from. It's just stuff that I'm like, there's no way you're doing this. Or it's like, it's not resonating in a sense of the true value, and really pushing away from non-value based content now. It's like, if you're going to waste time or like spend time looking at an hour's worth of content, do you want it to be like empty calories in a sense of food, or do you want it to be like really dense, like full of this nutrition of knowledge and wisdom that you can endlessly like pull in and then share with other people?
Right.
But sometimes that like brainless content you get stuck on because you're like, that is a pretty funny video. I'm gonna watch it.
Well, and social media can be such a brainless platform too, because sometimes people get caught up in all the activities that they're staying busy doing all day, but how much productivity are they actually getting from that?
Yeah.
And then the comparison factor.
Yes.
Jumping into comparing, what you're doing that day compared to other people that are on your timeline and stuff and the stories. It's that factor is such a big thing with social media.
Yeah.
I think it's super important to just stay focused on what you're being pulled to do and, trust what it is that you're being called to do. But there's just so many distractions, and social media throws so many of those out there.
For sure.
Big time. That was going to be mine, as the comparison thing. Whether people are ahead of you or behind you, I mean, it doesn't matter, really. I mean, you kind of have to just stay focused on what you can control and be your best self, as cliche as that sounds. But
it's our own journey.
Yeah.
We don't know what the next person has done to get up to this point, you know? Like, we see the end result, published on social media and stuff, or we may see a complete mirage.
Yeah.
Yes.
So be careful.
Yeah.
So what do we do? How do we either turn it into a positive or ignore it, or...
I think becoming really intentional with who you're friends with, who you follow, what Facebook groups you're a part of, what pages you even like, because they all is a domino effect. If you don't resonate with it anymore, like you used to maybe back in the day, new people that are coming into your life, for instance, may notice some of the groups or some of the pages you used to like and are like, this doesn't seem like that person to me. What happened?
Yeah.
What's changed? And so keeping that up to date and that real authenticity factor at the forefront of it, because there's not enough authentic, lifestyles being portrayed that could really help, with that comparison factor for sure.
Yeah, I think content I always look for is either have it be entertaining and inspirational.
Yes.
Kind of like my 2 things. If it's not in that, then it's like cut it, move it, because otherwise it's not really helping me, it's hurting me.
Bring value to others' lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You find content that endlessly throws you value, and that's the content that tends to pop rather than, be fed. So.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely been addition by subtraction, like just trying to cut out really negativity in the world. That's the one that drove me crazy and would be such a distraction. And I am so much cleaned up, so much more cleaned up now than I was a couple years ago, and it does well for the mental.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff. Hopefully you guys clean up your social. I think Revolutionary Wellness is a good follow. So
make sure everybody
We hope
follows
it's bringing
that.
value to your life for sure.
So don't hit our unfollow button, ideally. And if you haven't followed us, check the description. Follow Revolutionary Wellness. And next week, we'll be talking about late nights. So stay tuned for that and subscribe to not miss that episode.